Hello students. Under the features of LPG, that is liberalization, we have covered three main reforms, that is industrial reform, financial reform and tax reform. Today we are going to continue with the foreign investment reform or external sector reform. Foreign investment policy was changed in number of ways by increasing the products under the category of free foreign investment. That means the foreign investments were allowed in the production of various products. So the number of products were now increased so that more and more foreign investment can inflow into the country. And foreign investments were now allowed to compete freely with the domestic investors or domestic producers. I mean, foreign companies can come and set up their industry and can compete with the domestic entrepreneurs. Even foreign investors or investments were allowed up to 51% on the high priority area. That means if foreign investors wanted to invest in the country and the ownership, they wanted to keep it with themselves by retaining 51% of the share, so that also was made easily possible. Apart from that, the FDI, that is foreign direct investment, that means if anybody wants to invest in the country directly by establishing a firm, that policy was also made easier. In the previous 3 points, it was the portfolio investment which was focused. Portfolio investment means if any existing industry, domestic industry is operating, so they can buy the shares of those domestic industries and can become the owner of the industry or can be the major partner of the industry. To promote foreign investment, SEZs, special economic zones, were also set up so that comfortable procedure, formalities, environment can be provided to the foreign investors so that they can easily invest in the country. Uh, Apart from that, foreign exchange reforms, I mean the currency value, that is the currency rate between rupee and other currency was also made fully convertible. That is, rupee now can be easily converted into dollar on the market price. You must be knowing that there are two types of prices in the country. That is the market price, that is on the basis of demand and supply of the dollar, and second is the price which is fixed by the government, that is the value of rupee fixed by the government, that is RBI. So now if anybody wants to convert um, the rupee in dollar or dollar in rupee, it can be easily converted on the market exchange rate, and thus the full convertibility of currency was allowed. Foreign exchange rate was now allowed to be determined by the market forces, that is demand and supply. But whenever there was need, government intervention was made possible, and the system thus adopted is known as managed float, that is free working of market forces, that is demand for dollar and supply of dollar, and whenever needed, the government also tried to intervene in the rate. So that is managed float. To regulate the flow of foreign currency in the country, earlier FARA was operating. Now, instead of FARA, that was changed into FEMA. FEMA means Foreign Exchange Management Act, that was enacted in 1999. This was done so that there may not be any intervention in the flow of currency from other countries to our country. Other country means other currencies. So, FEMA was done. Earlier, there was a regulation, that means there was a control. Now, there was no control, rather, it was managed. That if it is coming, where from it is coming, how much it is coming, and that's all. To promote more foreign trade, government also initiated quantitative restriction. Earlier, there was a fixation of limit that this much foreign trade or import or export will be carried out. But now there was no such restriction. On the import also, tariff restrictions was there, that was also removed. Quota restriction was there, that was also removed. Import licensing was needed to import the goods, that was also removed. And domestic industries were no more protected. Rather, they were brought in the streamline so that they can compete with the foreign companies and can bring quality products to the ultimate consumer, and they can flourish, they can develop, they can improve their standards in the international market. So these were the various policies and measures adopted under the liberalization. Next video will be on privatization, that is the next second important feature of LPG. By then, thank you.